Good morning. Well, today is Friday and we talk of something different, not of politics, not of economy, but of you. And let's talk of the significance of the relative importance and the truth of the famous proverb, procrastination is a thief of time. Do not put off till tomorrow till we can do today. All the proverbs, all the sayings that procrastination, laziness is a curse have proved to be false, misleading, and at times definitely not acceptable. Are you aware that the concept of procrastination is extremely important? It is procrastination which is not the thief of time, but it is a mother of creativity. Interestingly, creativity can either be instant or a result of thought, nurture, and then production. There are people who belong to one category, the other people who belong to the other category. But both varieties definitely do not believe in what the people say hard work. Personally, I belong to the first category. That is the instinctive one. Instinct says do something and you do it. There is no thought, there is no pondering, and there is no planning. An idea comes to mind and you write it down. You go to speak and whatever comes to your mind, you speak about. That is one. The second is people like Leonardo da Vinci, people like Steve Jobs, people like Dr. Martin Luther King, who was habitual procrastinators. Are you aware that the world famous masterpiece, Mona Lisa, took 16 years to be completed? He started it, then he left it in a garage, then he again restarted it, then again left it. So 16 long years. Because, not that he was planning, but he was working in bursts. Bursts of creativity, they would come and then go back. It's like a tide. The tide comes and then goes back, then again comes. And there are times when the tide is higher and the times when the tide is not so high. That was happening to Leonardo da Vinci. Look at Steve Jobs. Same thing. He would get more ideas after playing a video game, which we all criticize and condemn, including me. But as a matter of fact, statistically, more original ideas have been produced after people have been indulging in recreation or not doing anything. R.L. Stevenson travelled over the Europe with his donkey and produced the masterpieces of literature. And it is he who said, "What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare." Standing and staring refreshes your mind, brings new insight to your brain, makes your neurocells more active. As a matter of fact, next week, this day, this time, I'll be talking about how to recharge your brain cells. That's a different topic altogether, so we'll take it up separately. But Coming back to creativity. If you think that you can plan to write a poem, an article, and then set thinking, making an outline the way the school teachers tell you, you will either produce nothing or produce gibberish. Second is, an idea comes to you and you start writing and produce something. It's something different that you editate, you polish it, but you don't dawdle on that. When the idea comes, put it up. And ideas can come to you either when you are asleep or when you are not doing anything or when you are entertaining. Would you believe many times ideas have come to me? I was giving a talk the other day and then an idea came to me, and I'm talking about the procrastination now, which will be an article tomorrow. So, the point is that we have got to ensure that the old proverbs have no relevance in reality of life. No, those were proverbs and those sayings are relevant to the average people. But creative people are very rare. How many Steve Jobs are there? How many Leonardo da Vinci's are there? You know, Keats once said, if a poem doesn't come to me like chirping comes to a sparrow, it had better not come at all. Now, chirping comes to a sparrow naturally, instinctively. There are no schools where a sparrow is taught how to chirp, but it does. And that same is true of the originality of idea. The point is about the gestation. You keep on reading and reading and reading. It's like grindstone, it's a millstone, and nothing would come out of it. But you are doing something exotic, something different, and all of a sudden you will be flooded with the ideas. Now the catch is that when the flood of the ideas come, you have to pick and choose your ideas at that time, and then either work on them immediately or work on them at the appropriate time. Leonardo da Vinci, when he was painting, I'm taking that specific example, Mona Lisa, the idea came to him of the enigma of the smile of a lady. And that enigma has haunted the people today. How to shape the lips, how to put what expression in the eyes, how the twist of the chin, how the cheeks should look, how the ears should protrude or not protrude. These features were representative of Mona Lisa. You can see her tresses, the way they are going. So each thing, and it took time, but the ideas came to me not in a continuity, but in spurts. And as they came in spurts, he put them in paint. And that is why it took 16 long years to make that painting. As I said earlier, what happens when you are not doing anything? Let's not forget the neural cells are always active. And when you are procrastinating, when you are indulging in something which does not agitate them, then the cogitative process takes over. And you start ruminating unconsciously on your past experience, on your readings, on the miles of information, knowledge that you have stored in your minds, and the process of churning starts, unknown to you. And then an idea flashes on the screen of your brain, and that is the time when you work. Steve Jobs used to say, that whenever he is involved in a video game, he is immersed in twisting that joystick, but all of a sudden there's a flash, an idea comes to him, he picks up the phone and gives a direction. And that made him the most creative CEO of the world. Martin Luther King, great civil rights hero, adopted the same thing. He would go for walks, long walks, directionless walks. And when he was walking, and he writes that one time he saw a shrub, and shrub gave him the idea that in this desert of US, Mexican desert, New Mexican desert, he saw this shrub. What's the significance? And that gave him the idea of standing out even in the adverse circumstances. Later on, when he passed by an oasis, again directionless, he found the direction of promoting the civil rights. So, if we go exactly by the proverbs, then we are crushing creativity. Can you see that what was Mahatma Gandhi doing in South Africa? He was earning money as a lawyer. Had he not been kicked out of the first class rail compartment, he would never have become the father of the nation. He was procrastinating for that job, but doing the other job. Okay. And the flash came, and he started thinking, and then he read Leo Tolstoy's, and both ideas gelled at that time, and the concept of satyagraha came into being. So, this is what happens. Winston Churchill, one of the best prime ministers with a creative mind and a creative genius, it is said that he used to write a speech and then hours and hours polishing it. Yes. But it was as a war hero and a war correspondent that his most creativity came into being. I do not mean to say that you should stop being industrious and hardworking. People do it and are successful, but they are not creative. If you are creative, then you have got to let the mind and the brain have a free play. If they cannot have a free play, they cannot be creative. A child who is romping around would come up with the ideas and come and ask you the questions. Now here, as a parent, either you fail or you are successful in molding the character of your child. If you simply say, you are always asking questions, I don't have the time, ask some time else, you are crushing the creativity of the child. The child has been procrastinating, he has been playing, he has not been doing anything. And you would be telling him, well, why are you playing? Why are you not reading? But while he has been playing, he has been watching the wonders of the world. His imagination has been excited. And excitation of imagination is the root of all creativity. Now the question you might ask me is, can we learn to be creative? Yes. Simple. Go on a directionless walk. Watch the things around you. And an epiphanous moment might be there. It might be an epiphany. It may be there, may not be there. But when you go out for a walk, directionless walk, keep your mind and brain open. Let the nature's beauty soak into you. With the people you are procrastinating. Now here's a curious thing, that when I say keep your mind and brain open, you'll say, well, then we are not procrastinating. You are. Procrastinate is not doing something which the people consider to be relevant and useful. Procrastination is not doing something to earn 2 meals a day. Procrastination is not doing something which average people consider to be relevant and useful. Basically, it comes to that do be impulsive, and when the impulse comes to you, make use of it. The intellect should exploit the impulse. So, the process of procrastination is a boost giver to your morale as a creator. Look at all the creators of the world. Do you know that why the old days in India, the yogis used to be in forest and they had their schools set up? Simply because they could procrastinate. A child is there, well, go and fetch the wood. When he's fetching the wood, the beauty of the nature dawns on him and he becomes creative. Even Dronacharya, when he taught Arjun, look at the tree and look at the branch and look at the eye of the sparrow. He didn't have a man-made shooting range. Procrastination enables you to be wedded to nature and the wonder of nature, the wonder of the world. This was how Miranda felt in Shakespeare's Tempest. What a brave new world, she said so. So brave new word is something which you need to be exposed to. And you can be exposed to when you come out of your closet. And you see nature and the world with new eyes. Procrastinate and be creative would be my clarion call. I know the school teachers are going to be horrified. The spiritual gurus are going to be horrified. But that's the reality. And all these psychologists agree with me on that concept. If you want to be creative, learn to procrastinate. Learn to be one with the nature. Now, procrastination is, again, let me be very clear with you, not doing anything. Just even that is relevant. When you are procrastinating or thinking, your brain can never be idle. It will always be thinking something. The only thing is you should have the ability to catch that thought process, take up an idea and then exploit it. Success would be yours. Well, on this note, have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. Bye.